I was a civil engineer making $110,000 a year. I had a corner office and a respectable career. On my 30th birthday, my girlfriend took me to see a Broadway show in New York. I sat in that theater and cried through the entire performance. Not because it was sad, because I finally understood what was missing from my life. Passion, purpose, the courage to chase what I actually wanted instead of what everyone expected. 2 months later, I quit my engineering job and made a decision that everyone told me was insane. Before we dive in, have you ever walked away from security to chase a dream? Or stayed in a good job that was slowly killing your soul? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you love stories about second chances, following your intuition, and the courage it takes to start over, please subscribe so you don't miss our next one. Now, let me tell you about the 3 years that changed my life. My name is Eric Wilson, and for the first 30 years of my life, I did everything right. I got good grades. I went to Georgia Tech. I got a degree in civil engineering. I got a job at a respected firm in Atlanta. I climbed the ladder. I made more money each year. And every single day, I felt like I was suffocating. October 15th. 3 years ago, my 30th birthday. I woke up in my apartment in Midtown Atlanta. My girlfriend, Renee, had already left for work. She was a corporate lawyer, always at the office by 7. I looked at my phone. Happy birthday text from my sister, my mom, a few friends, 30 years old. I should have felt accomplished, successful, proud. Instead, I felt empty. I got dressed, drove to my office, sat down at my desk, stared at blueprints for a shopping mall in suburban Georgia. Load-bearing walls, drainage systems, building codes. Important work, work that mattered. But I didn't care, not even a little bit. My colleague, Jason, stopped by my desk around 10. "Happy birthday, man. Big 3-0. How's it feel?" "Fine." "Just fine?" "Yeah, just fine." He laughed. "Midlife crisis hitting early, huh?" I smiled, didn't answer. I felt weird and didn't know how to explain it. That evening, Renee and I flew to New York. She'd planned the whole weekend as a surprise. Nice hotel in Midtown, dinner reservations at some Italian place in Hell's Kitchen, and tickets to see Dear Evan Hansen on Broadway. "I know you love musicals," she'd said when she gave me the tickets 2 weeks earlier, "even though you never talk about it." She was right. I did love musicals. I always had. But I didn't talk about it. Because civil engineers from Georgia who look like former college football players don't admit they love musical theater. My father made that very clear when I was 14. I was in 8th grade. The high school was doing Grease. I wanted to audition. I told my father at dinner, "Dad, I'm thinking about trying out for the school musical." He looked up from his plate. "The musical?" "Yeah, they're doing Grease. I think it would be fun." "Eric, theater is for girls, and for, well, you know what kind of boys. Dad, you're a big kid, strong. You should be playing football, not prancing around on stage singing." "I don't want to play football. I want to—" "You want to be a man, don't you? You understand?" I understood. I didn't audition. I joined the robotics club instead, and then took advanced math, and then applied to engineering schools. Back to present. Renee and I were in our seats. Row M, center orchestra. The lights went down. The show started, and something inside me shattered. I don't remember when I started crying. Maybe during Waving Through a Window. Maybe during For Forever. But by the time they got to You Will Be Found, I was sobbing, uncontrollably. Renee grabbed my hand. "Eric, are you okay?" I couldn't answer. I just watched. These people, on stage, singing, acting, living so completely in the moment that the entire theater disappeared. It was just them, and the story, and something raw and real and true. I looked around. 2,000 people in this theater, all of us connected by this story, this music, this moment. And I thought, this is what matters. This is what's real. Not shopping malls, not drainage systems, not blueprints. This. After the show, we walked through Times Square. Renee hadn't said anything about my crying. She just held my hand. Waited. Finally, she asked, "Do you want to talk about what happened in there?" "I don't know if I can." "Eric, you were crying for an hour. I've never seen you cry, not once in 2 years." "I know. So talk to me. Please." We stopped at the corner of 45th and Broadway. Crowds rushing past us. Lights flashing. New York alive around us. "What if I told you I wanted to do that?" I said. "Do what?" "Be on stage, perform, act, sing. What if I told you that's what I've wanted my entire life?" She stared at me. "You're serious?" "I'm serious." "Eric, you're a civil engineer. You have a career. A good career." "I hate it." "What?" "I hate my job, Renee. I've hated it since the day I started. Every morning I wake up and think, 40 more years of this. And I feel like I'm already dead." She was quiet for a long time. People bumped into us. Taxis honked. The city moved around us while we stood still. "Why didn't you tell me?" she finally asked. "Because it sounds insane. I'm 30 years old. Who throws away their career at 30 to become an actor?" "So what are you saying? You want to audition for things?" "I don't know. Maybe. Yes. I just know I can't keep doing what I'm doing." She looked at me. Really looked at me. "Okay. Okay. Okay. If you're that unhappy, you should try. You should see if it's real. If it's something you can actually do. Really. Life's too short to be miserable, Eric." I kissed her. Right there on the corner of 45th and Broadway. "Thank you. Thank you for understanding." She smiled, but there was something in her eyes. Something I didn't recognize until much later. 3 weeks later. I was sitting at my desk pretending to review structural calculations when I Googled Community Theater Atlanta auditions. I don't know what I was expecting. Maybe nothing. Maybe I'd just look and never follow through. But the first result was, "Theatrical Outfit. Presents Les Miserables. Open auditions this Saturday." My heart stopped. Les Miserables. One of my favorite shows. I'd listened to the cast recording hundreds of times. Knew every word. Every note. I clicked the link. Read the details. Open auditions. All roles available. Prepare 32 bars of a song in the style of the show. Bring sheet music or track. I stared at the screen for 10 minutes. Then I clicked Add to Calendar. Saturday came. I didn't tell anyone I was going. Not Renee. Not my friends. Not my family. I drove to the theater at 9 a.m. My hands were shaking on the steering wheel. The parking lot was full. I sat in my car for 5 minutes trying to breathe. You don't have to do this. You can just drive away. No one will ever know. But I'd know. I got out of the car. The lobby was packed. 50 people, maybe 60. All ages, all types. Some in dance clothes, some in jeans. All holding sheet music or phones with backing tracks. I was the only one in a button-down shirt and khakis. I'd come straight from running errands. That's what I'd told Renee. A woman with a clipboard approached. "Hi, are you here to audition?" "Yes." "Great. Name?" "Eric Wilson." She wrote it down. "Have you auditioned with us before?" "No, I've never auditioned for anything." She smiled. "Well, welcome. We're so glad you're here. We'll call you when it's your turn. Shouldn't be more than 30 minutes. I nodded, found a seat in the corner, watched everyone else. They all looked so comfortable, so confident, warming up, stretching, practicing harmonies. I felt like an imposter. "Eric Wilson." I stood, walked into the audition room. It was a small black box theater. 3 people behind a table, a piano in the corner. "Hi, Eric. I'm Margaret, the director. This is Carlo, our music director, and Nancy, our choreographer. What are you singing for us today?" "Bring Him Home," from Les Mis. Margaret smiled. Bold choice. That's a tough song. I know. Okay, whenever you're ready. I handed my phone to Carlo. He pulled up the backing track. The music started. I opened my mouth and sang. I'd sung this song 1,000 times, in my car, in the shower, alone in my apartment when Renee was at work, but never in front of people. My voice shook at first, but then something happened. The nerves faded. The room faded. It was just me, and the music, and this prayer Jean Valjean sings for Marius. Bring him home. Bring him home. Bring him home. I finished. The room was silent. Margaret was staring at me. Eric, where did you train? I didn't. I'm a civil engineer. You're a what? Civil engineer. This is just, I don't know, a hobby. Margaret looked at Carlo, then back at me. Eric, you have something. It's raw, unpolished, but it's real. Have you ever acted? No, never. Can you come to callbacks? Tomorrow, 2 p.m.? Callbacks? Yes, we want to see more. Okay, yes, I can do that. Great, see you tomorrow. I walked out in a daze. I'd done it. I'd actually done it. And they wanted to see me again. Sunday afternoon. I told Renee I had to go into the office. Emergency with a project. She believed me. Why wouldn't she? I drove to the theater. 10 people had been called back. We read scenes, sang again, did some movement work. I felt completely out of my depth. Everyone else had training, experience. They knew what they were doing. I was faking it, guessing. But Margaret kept watching me, taking notes. At the end of callbacks, she pulled me aside. Eric, I want to offer you the role of Enjolras. I stared at her. Enjolras? That's a lead. I know, but I've never done this. I don't have any training. I don't. You have something those other actors don't have. What? Pain. When you sang Bring Him Home, you weren't performing. You were feeling it. That's not something you can teach. That comes from living. I don't know if I can. Eric, I'm not offering this to you because you're perfect. I'm offering it because you're real, and that's what this role needs. So, do you want it? I thought about my desk at the office, about blueprints and building codes and the slow death of doing work I didn't care about. Yes, I want it. Good. Rehearsals start Monday, 7 to 10 p.m. We open in 8 weeks. That night, I told Renee, we were having dinner at our favorite Italian place near her office. Renee, I need to tell you something. Okay. I auditioned for a play, a musical, Les Miserables, and I got a lead role. She put down her fork. You what? I auditioned, yesterday and today, and they gave me the part of Enjolras. It's community theater, but... Eric, when did you even... How did you... I've been thinking about it since New York. I had to try. I had to know if I could do it. And you can. Apparently. She was quiet, processing. Rehearsals are Monday through Thursday, 7 to 10, and weekends, for the next 2 months. That's a lot of time. I know. More silence. I'm proud of you, she finally said, for having the courage to try. Thank you. But something felt wrong. Off. I couldn't place it. Not yet. Rehearsals. Week 1. I was terrible. Not at singing. I could sing, but at everything else. Acting. Blocking. Stage combat. Dance. Everyone else in the cast had been doing this for years. They knew the terminology, the conventions, how to take direction. I was lost. After the first rehearsal, Margaret pulled me aside. Eric, you okay? I'm drowning. I know, but that's normal. You're learning a new language. Give it time. Everyone else knows what they're doing. Everyone else has been doing this since they were kids. You're 30. You're starting late. That doesn't mean you can't catch up. It just means you have to work harder. I don't know if I can. She looked at me seriously. Do you want to be here? Yes. Then be here. Show up. Work, learn, ask questions. You'll get there. I worked harder than I'd ever worked at anything. I Googled acting techniques, watched YouTube videos on stage movement, hired a voice coach. Every night after rehearsal, I stayed late, practiced blocking, ran lines with whoever would stay. Slowly, very slowly, I got better. On week 4, Renee and I were having dinner. She'd been quiet lately, distant. "Are you okay?" I asked. "I need to talk to you about something." My stomach dropped. "Okay." "Eric, I've been thinking, a lot, about us, about where we're going. And I love you, I really do, but I don't think I can be with you while you do this." The restaurant noise faded. "What? You're going to quit your job, aren't you? Eventually, you're going to chase this theater thing." I don't know. Maybe. You are. I can see it, and I respect that, but I can't follow you there. Renee, I want stability, Eric. A partner with a steady career, a house, kids in the next few years, and you're about to completely upend your life. We can figure it out. No, we can't, because I also need to be honest with you about something. Edie, she looked down at her wine. My father had an affair with an actress when I was 15. It destroyed our family, and I know that's not fair to project onto you. But every time I think about you pursuing this, that's all I can see. Instability, uncertainty. And I can't live like that. Tears were streaming down her face. I'm sorry, Eric. I really am. But I have to be honest about what I want and what I can handle. And this isn't it. So that's it? We're done? I think we have to be. I love you. I love you too. That's why I'm letting you go. You need to chase this without feeling guilty, and I need to find someone whose path matches mine. We finished dinner in silence. I paid. We walked outside into the Atlanta night. She kissed me one last time, got in her car, drove away. I stood on the sidewalk, 30 years old, single, about to throw my career away for a dream that might not work out. And for the first time in my life, I felt completely free. Opening night. December 10th. The show opened. My sister and my mother came. Some friends from work, too. My father didn't come. He said he had a prior commitment. We both knew what that meant. Renee didn't come, either. She'd texted, "It would be too hard, but I'm thinking of you. Break a leg." The show went well. Really well. During "Do You Hear the People Sing?" I felt something I'd never felt before. Connection. To the audience. To the cast. To the story. I was exactly where I was supposed to be. Standing ovation. 3 curtain calls. Afterward, people came backstage, friends hugging me, strangers asking for photos. A woman I didn't know approached, 50s, professional looking. "Eric Wilson?" "Yes?" "I'm Janice Hilton. I run the theater internship program here. Margaret told me about you, about your background." "Oh, yeah, I'm an engineer." She smiled. "I'd like to offer you a position. Paid acting internship. Starts in January. You do 3 shows with us. Learn from professionals. Get real training." "I'd have to quit my job." "Yes, you would. The stipend is $32,000 for the year. It's not much, but it's a start." $32,000? Compared to my $110,000 salary, that's a 70% pay cut. "Can I think about it?" "Of course. Let me know by Christmas." I sat in my car in the parking lot for an hour. $32,000. That barely covered rent, food, bills. But it was theater, real theater, professional training. I pulled out my phone. Texted my sister. Me. They offered me an internship. Acting. But I'd have to quit engineering. Sister. Are you going to take it? Me. I don't know. It's crazy, right? I'm 30. I should be moving up in my career, not starting over. Sister. Eric, you've been miserable for years. I've watched you die slowly in that job. If this makes you happy, do it. Me. What if I fail? Sister, what if you don't? December 24th came. Christmas Eve. I was at my parents' house. Family dinner. My father, my mother, my sister, her husband, their kids. My father asked about work. How's the mall project going? It's fine, but Dad, I need to tell you something. Okay. I've been offered an acting internship. With the theater, it's paid, professional training, and I'm thinking about taking it. He put down his fork. Taking it? Eric, you have a career, a good career. I know. And you want to throw that away? For acting? For theater? It's not throwing it away. It's choosing something else. You're 30 years old. It's time to be realistic. I've been realistic my whole life, Dad. I did everything you wanted. Got the degree. Got the job. And I'm miserable. Everyone's miserable at work. That's why it's called work. It doesn't have to be that way. My father shook his head. You're making a mistake. A big one. And you're going to regret it. I looked at him. This man who'd spent 40 years building houses, who'd never done anything he actually loved. Maybe, but I'd regret not trying even more. On January 3rd, I walked into my boss's office at Henderson and Associates. Jim, I need to talk to you. Sure, sit down. What's up? I'm quitting. He laughed. Good one. Seriously, what's up? I'm serious. I'm giving 2 weeks' notice. Eric, is this about a raise? Because we can talk. It's not about money. I'm taking a position with a theater company. Acting. He stared at me. Acting. Yes. Eric, are you okay? Is this about Renee? I heard you two broke up. This has nothing to do with Renee. This is about me, doing what I actually want to do. You have a future here, senior engineer in 3 years, partnership track after that. I don't want to be a senior engineer, Jim. I want to be on stage. He looked at me like I'd lost my mind. Maybe I had. Okay, if that's what you want, I'll process your resignation. Thank you. I walked out of his office, back to my desk, started packing. Jason stopped by. Dude, is it true? You're quitting? Yeah. To do theater? Yeah. That's insane. I know, but also kind of awesome. Good luck, man. The next year was the hardest year of my life. I went from making $110,000 to $32,000. My apartment went from nice to terrible. My diet went from restaurants to ramen. But I was learning. Acting technique, voice work, movement, stage combat, dance. I did 3 shows, small roles, learning roles. There were nights I almost quit. Nights I sat in my tiny apartment eating cereal for dinner, thinking about my old salary, my old life. Nights I wondered if my father was right, if I'd made a terrible mistake. But then I'd get on stage, and I'd remember. This is what I was meant to do. The internship ended. I was offered a contract with the theater, $45,000 a year. Slightly better, I did 4 shows. Bigger roles, better roles. A reviewer from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution wrote, Eric Wilson brings unexpected depth to the role. Raw talent meeting life experience. I printed that review, put it on my fridge, but I wanted more. I wanted to see if I could really do this, at the highest level. So I started auditioning in New York. At 32, I moved to New York City, a tiny apartment in Queens. $200 a month for a room the size of a closet. 2 roommates, shared bathroom. I worked as a bartender 4 nights a week to pay rent. Auditioned during the day. Rejection after rejection after rejection. You're talented, but too old. You don't have the right training. Where's your MFA? Sorry, we're going another direction. I was ready to give up. I'd been doing this for 2 years. I was 32. Running out of money, running out of hope. Then I got a call back for an off-Broadway show. Small theater, 99 seats, but professional. I went through 3 rounds of auditions. And then they offered me a role. Not a lead, but a real, significant part. Union contract, equity minimum. I was a professional actor. Tonight is opening night. I'm backstage at a small theater in the East Village, getting into costume, warming up. My mother and sister flew in from Atlanta. Some friends are here. My father isn't. He still doesn't get it. Maybe he never will. But that's okay. I'm not doing this for him. I check my phone before places. One text, unknown number. Then I realize it's Renee. Renee, I'm here. Row K. I had to see this. Break a leg, Eric. My hands shake. Me. You're here? Renee. I wasn't going to miss this. Go. They're waiting for you. The show is incredible. It's a new play. Small cast, intimate story. Every night I get to create something real with people I respect. This is what I left engineering for. This moment, this feeling. During curtain call, I scan the audience. Row K. There she is. Renee. Clapping. Smiling. Crying. After the show, I find her in the lobby. Hi, I say. Hi. You came. Of course I came. Eric, you were incredible. I mean it. You belong up there. Thank you. That means everything. Silence. I'm engaged, she says. To Nathan. He's a lawyer, too. We're getting married next spring. Congratulations. I mean that. You deserve to be happy. So do you. And you look happy. Really happy. I am. It's hard. I'm broke most of the time. But I'm doing what I love. She smiles. That same smile I remember. I'm proud of you. I know I said that when we broke up, but I mean it even more now. You did it, Eric. You actually did it. I couldn't have without you. You gave me permission to try. You gave yourself permission. I just didn't stand in your way. She pauses. I have to go. Nathan's waiting, but I'm so glad you didn't give up. She hugs me, then walks toward the door. She turns. You're going to do amazing things, Eric Wilson. I always knew you would. Then she's gone. I stand in the empty lobby, 33 years old, living in a tiny apartment in Queens, making less money than I did as a 29-year-old engineer. But I'm an actor now, and for the first time in my life, I'm exactly who I'm supposed to be. 6 months later, I'm being interviewed for a podcast about career changers. The host asks, do you regret starting so late? Most actors begin at 18. You started at 30. Every day someone reminds me I started late. And yeah, I wonder sometimes what would have happened if I'd had the courage to do this at 20 instead of 30. But I also know, at 20, I wasn't ready. I didn't have the life experience, the emotional depth, the desperation. I needed to spend 10 years being miserable so I'd have the courage to change. What would you say to someone considering a similar change? I'd say 3 things. 1. It's going to be harder than you think. Financially, emotionally, mentally, you will question yourself constantly. 2. Do it anyway. Because the alternative, spending your life wondering, what if, is worse than any struggle. 3. There's no such thing as too late. I started at 30. I know people who started at 40, 50. If you have the breath in your lungs, you have time. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Honestly, I don't know. Broadway would be amazing. But if it's regional theater, great. Off-Broadway? Perfect. As long as I'm on stage. As long as I'm doing this thing I love. That's success. Not the size of the theater or the salary, but waking up every day and choosing passion. Any regrets? I think about my old office, my old salary, my old life. Then I think about standing on stage last night. 200 people, all of us connected by story. None, not one. What did you think of Eric's decision? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If this story about following your intuition, starting over at 30, and choosing passion over security touched your heart, please hit that like button and subscribe for more inspiring stories every day. Don't forget to click the notification bell so you never miss our next tale. Thanks for watching, or